December 5th, 2025. As you're looking at satellite images that are current, right now it's 4:33 p.m. Central Time. So you're at about 2:33 p.m., I think. Anyway, what you're looking at is a phenomenon that our Father in Heaven created, and that's this fog bank. I guess this would be part of the Napa Valley, or almost all of it anyway. And each year it comes in, these banks bring in moisture and cooler temperatures, and that's what they talk about with the chill and things that when you can pick and harvest certain things. And that's what you're looking at. So that's why there's so much growing there. You've got almonds, peaches, everything you can think of just about is growing in this area. And right now, again, this is why it is designed this way. It's trapped that moisture and the temps there that is needed for the crops this year. Notice all of this is coming in off the Pacific Ocean, right? And the outside bank here. This has been happening quite a bit. Now notice at the northern tip of the valley, a lot of this, again, coming off the Pacific, is pulling right down through there. And as anything in these clouds drops, it's going to be trapped in this fog. And that's why I'm doing the video. Let me say this. I was watching Pastor Paul Begley just a few minutes ago, and he mentioned the fog bank that we're looking at was radioactive. And we're going to read about the information coming from there. Now, what they're not talking about, Paul knows now, he's talking about it, is that what's coming off the Pacific has been coming off since the Fukushima explosion and the big earthquake there that came from a combination of several X flares piling in at about 2:45 that afternoon over Japan, causing the quake, wrecking the Fukushima nuclear plants there. And we talked about it for years. Still to this day, there's nuclear radiation pouring in to the water. And I don't know what's being emitted into the air, but millions of gallons. They have to let it out so often, and they'll usually talk about it. But I think why they're getting the radiation measurements now in this, they're saying 400 miles of fog bank, is because we're seeing the results of the current. Guys, you notice it comes around, cycles back in, kind of across Hawaii, goes down back south of Japan, goes up through there, and cycles all of the Japanese radiation right back in this cycle. It's a continuous loop almost, right into the West Coast. Now, guys, they're measuring here. But if I were you, I would, if I was in Oregon, Washington, I would, or anywhere in Canada, anywhere coming in right now for some reason, they're getting a lot of radioactive measurements. And I didn't do this to sell anything, but guys, the best handhelds and the best price, if you are concerned about it, is on our website. Just look at the radiation meters. Scroll down the page. I'm not sure where they're at right now, but they're one of the best, and they're also the least expensive of all. Usually around $100, but they do so much. They look at radiation, EMF radiation, things like that, and it would tell you very quickly. And those meters, if you read in the book about it, they have you can go online and join a group, and you can put your location of where you live is like a pinpoint on the map, and if you plug in your meter there, or you join the club and plug your meter in, which it comes with an adapter to do that, and it has a save function, where if you're gone for a couple of days, and radiation spiked while you were gone, it would be stored in that machine, and then it's downloadable through it's either a USB-C or another USB port. And that port also allows you to add extended time to the battery of it, but they'd last a very long time. You've seen them in some of my videos. Again, now that's not why I came here, but you guys have got to be very careful. Again, it's a natural event, but right now it's radioactive. Now it's been going on about 48 hours, but they're saying that California's 400-mile blanket of radiation fog spills into the Bay Area. And normally, well, I don't know how long they've been measuring it, but this year it's radioactive. But they may have, I mean, I've seen information suppressed before because I know that we've seen it in the water there just within a year, maybe 6 months of the actual Fukushima event. But again, now they're saying it's spilling into the Bay Area. It says a 400-mile stretch of dense Thule fog, T-U-L-E, I may have pronounced it wrong, but that's how it's spelled, T-U-L-E, fog has blanketed California's Central Valley and stretched into the Bay Area, according to the National Weather Service. The fog, a winter hallmark of the San Joaquin and Sacramento valleys, has reformed nightly for more than a week, reducing visibility along Interstate 5, Highway 99, and several connecting routes. Dense fog advisories remain in effect across the San Joaquin Valley, where the Weather Service is at the Hanford office warned of high transportation risk. You know, when you think about that, and you think about all the CDLs that were handed out by Newsom, that really adds to that danger. They're saying across the Central Valley, the Weather Service expects the fog. Now, this goes back a couple of days, guys, to rebuild, I think 48 hours, to rebuild Tuesday night and reach level 38 on the agency's 5-level fog severity index, indicating moderate risk and visibility around a half a mile. The Weather Service warned that the Thule fog can reduce visibility to 10 feet and may cause drivers to misjudge their speed. You're flying blind, guys. But they're not talking a lot about the radiation. They dang sure do not mention Fukushima. But we have seen this going for a long time. And as far as the leaking, and it makes sense because we're seeing that air current. We'll go back and look at that coming straight off that current that goes up through Japan and heads across and under the Aleutian Islands and straight into, again, Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and then comes down the coastline, loops back. And so now we've had all these years of it continuing. So, of course, the density of that would increase, and when that increases, the amount of radiation would increase, right? So it's, again, the perfect season for the crops unless this is happening. It's something to think about, guys. If you know people in that area, get in touch with them. Just let them know, you know, what's going on. That's why I'm doing this, so people can spread the word. And let me check. There used to be, a few years back, a radiation map, and it works off the type meters we have and other brands. They all can kind of work on the same network. Now, guys, this is called the Real-Time Radiation World Map. I will link to it, just remind me. But what we're looking at right now is, in the last 24 hours, notice that you can set this a couple of different ways. And the highest reading, which is high, is 82, and you can tell it right there. The color changes. Here's a color code down here, 0 to 50 counts per minute, just green, and then 50 to 100. Here, 100 to 200, and on up. Get over 200, you're really in the red, and that's when you need to seriously be taking cover. But guys, this 82 is not good. Guys, and if we back this out just a little bit, you can still see, this is coming back to the last 24 hours. This 95 here north of San Francisco in the Bay Area, in that northern bay. But there's something that really sticks out to me is that you got 400-mile area, and this is the valley through this area here. And we don't see any meters. It makes me wonder if the head politician there doesn't want to sell it or to let it be known he might be selling some radioactive wine or something, you know, and how that group is there. And so, who knows, but there's just not many there. And they probably, if they were there, they've already confiscated them. So if one was popping off red now, someone would probably need to get rid of that meter pretty quick, because they, you know, talking about their wine industry, and especially when it's padding the politician's back pocket, they're going to protect it. And let's just look around the nation a minute. I want to show you a couple of other things that are interesting to know. And one is you've got a hot spot here in South Carolina. Let's check that out. Right in there. Let me pull that out. This is Hickory. You're hitting a pretty good number at 128. That you're looking at close to 200 counts per minute at that point. You can see some other elevations or elevated readings there. And let's see, I think I saw something up here. Jersey, you've got a 124 out here. This is Chemung here. Elite Suffolk Staples right out in that area. I think I saw something up in this area earlier. Let's see. Not that bad, but what I do want to do is look over into Japan. Wait, right here. This may be the one. Columbus. Check this out. 742. That you're well at your 572 point or counts per minute above the red danger zone. I don't know what's going on there. It could be a faulty meter, but it looks like it's in someone has one in a residential area. There's no telling. Might be somebody getting barbecue going. Who knows? Anyway, but that's actually coming from a meter. I'm not trying to be funny about that. And let's look at Fukushima. Now, the map we were looking at, they have, and most of the other maps that we were using in the last 10 years, as far as radiation maps, guys, that were showing different monitors and the readings there, counts per minute, and so forth. But if I would have stayed on the software and scroll right across the Pacific to Japan, it shows 1 meter down in here that's about 13 green, nothing in the Fukushima area. And 3 of the major maps now do not show anything there. Why? You know why. But this is a different map. It's called Radioverse, and let me kind of pull this up just a little bit. You can see the red areas here and the way they measure it going down in microservants. See this? So this is hot. Notice right there it says Fukushima. Sendai is where a lot of the big waves came in, and all of this is where the plants are along the beach. We saw them explode. That water's still going into the Pacific. They're not showing radiation into the ocean, but this current comes around in a loop like this. You can look it up. It's like a big oscillating current back over down the west coast, comes back across, back up, picks up another load. But it's a continuous load. When it's thickest is when they are releasing the millions of gallons because their tanks are full. They have nothing else they can do because they still have rods there. They still have problems with all of that. And they built it over a stream running down a mountain, guys. So that water's continuously running through the destroyed areas. And so they really can't get and save all the water anyway from getting into the Pacific. But again, the tanks get full, and there's thousands of these big tanks. They're full, and then they have to dump them. And that's what you're seeing here. And my bet is that we are dealing with the radioactive fog there in California because of what you're looking at right here. Now, these are current images from a satellite that's over the kind of central Pacific. You can see Alaska here, and the Aleutians here. And all of this is part of that loop I'm talking about. It's pulling all of this radiation, both anything in the air and across into the currents south of Kamchatka, Russia, right there. And it just comes through here. You see how everything ends up being along from southern Canada all the way down the entire west coast of the U.S. And you can see again as it pushes in, it's building into or it's dropping into these fog banks. It looks natural, but it's not. Now, I'd like to be able to find the information, which I don't have, and how many years, if any, they've measured the radioactive particles inside this bank in the California Valley there. But we're watching it, guys. Again, a shout out for Paul Begley. He brought this up, and I just wanted to go look at it and put in my 2 cents. Again, your mainstream will not say Fukushima. I think that's like a taboo. Maybe they'll leave the video. Anyway, we're watching it, guys. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.